I forgot to mention this scene in the review. Um, there's a scene in this that I posted on Instagram where the teacher, the headmistress lady in this, she walks in on a. I guess the teacher's supposed to be sex ed class teacher or whatever. At one point, she walks in and she's like, "Oh, don't mind us. We're just going to watch or listen to what you have to say." So she goes to explain stuff like how the body works with girls and boys, and then they give the headmistress and the other women give her a dirty look, as if I didn't understand that scene. You hired her because she know that's her job, and then you give her a dirty look. Like they literally they were grossed out that oh uh so the guy will pierce through the girl or whatever, and then the older ladies, the women in that are like, ugh, and then they just walk out and are like, oh, I guess we'll be leaving now. Like, I didn't understand that, but yeah, that's all I had to say for this. But continue with the review. Hello, folks, and welcome back to another video. My thoughts and review on Private Lessons, which is a 80's, early 80's, like 1983, I believe. Yeah. You know, I'm a big fan of the 80's comedies, horror for sure, but comedies, like, I gotta say, this is one of the better ones. Not only is it funny, it has great music, great soundtrack to it. You'll know what type of movie you're getting when you hear the very first song that is played on this movie in the opening, which I was like surprised. I mean, it's the 80's, so you didn't really have a lot of explicit, cussing and all that as you do now with stupid soundtracks of today with movies. Yeah, it's mostly 80's pop, rock, some ballads, soft rock, which I actually like. And surprisingly, the lead actress, Phoebe Kate, but yeah, her character, basically her and her boyfriend. The whole movie is really centers around her and her boyfriend. They're trying to lose their virginities to each other, and during this, a lot of school shenanigans, because they're all in private schools, so like the boys and girls are all separated, whatever. And like him and his friends go around the school trying to peep at girls, which I mean, I wouldn't do it, but I mean, if you saw how Betsy Russell was back in the day and still is now, uh, yeah, and even Phoebe Cates, she sung 2 songs. But yeah, pretty much the movie it bases her and her boyfriend are trying to get it on at the right time, and they made reservations at a hotel. And throughout the movie, you have comedy, you have funny humor. Granted, some of it's risque, like today, where this movie would. I think some of the stuff that they put in this movie would get not flagged, but they get a lot of backlash. But I liked his directing in this. I thought the story it had heart in it. His 2 buddies, one of them's name's Bubba, which was funny to me. He has a girlfriend also at the private school, and like their stuff is funny because like they're trying to get it on, and at one scene in the movie they're trying to get it on, and like this, I guess it's the head lady of this woman's or the girls academy, and like I forget her name, but this older lady, she's funny because like she gets it on later on with the limo driver of um Betsy Betsy Palmer, Betsy Russell's dad, who's a rich guy. Well, I mean, I guess most of these people that go to the school are really wealthy, but yeah, there's a lot of not a lot, but there's a good amount of nudity in this. Granted, it's the 80's, but oh my god, I never seen so much. There's like literally a shower scene in this, which all it is just a guy. Because the 3 guys they sneak into to see their girls because they get in trouble at one point pulling a prank. so they're forbid to leave premises or whatever. So the three guys go to meet their girls. Well, two of the guys have girlfriends, one of them, the nerdy guy, doesn't. So I felt bad for him most of this movie because he has nobody really. But I mean, he was still having a good time. So I guess you know, got to see cute women and but yeah, at one point they're sneaking in there dressed as girls. Betsy Russell's character Jordan, who's like, I guess they used to be I guess her and the lead girl and the other girl used to be friends, but they're kind of not. They are, but they're kind of frenemies, I guess. Because then they insult each other, kind of. And then Betsy Russell's character tries to go after Phoebe Cates' boyfriend, and throughout this, there's another scene where I'm trying to remember everything because I would like people to actually watch this if you like 80's comedy, sex comedy, or whatever it's called, teen sex comedy, or whatever. I would say the humor for sure is, again, it would probably get some backlash of today. I mean, the stuff, the amount of nudity is in this movie, and even the stuff that they have the girls do in this or say. And even really the men, they would really criminalize the men in this. Because at one point, Betsy Russell's dad, who's rich, comes over to, I guess he's supposed to donate money to the school or whatever. Because they have a pool party at one point, and he's there with his new wife, because apparently he's been through so many women, and he's like really old, and like she looked maybe 30s, but whatever. That's what they want to do. Anyway, at one point they do that. He's there. They get there, and the dad, he's like so pervy to where he literally flat out will. Or no, it's not. Yeah, it's I think I forget which guy was who, but the guy that gets the guy that's with. Yeah, the guy that has the stepmom of Betsy Russell. I think it's Christine. I want to say it's Phoebe Cates' dad, who comes there at the party as well. He's there. He's really hands-on with, because at one point he sees because it's a pool party, so you're gonna have bikinis. He literally walks over. He watches all these college girls walk around in their bikinis, and then they get in the water in the pool. They jump in the pool. He's literally hovering over them, and at one point when he goes to hug on Betsy Russell, his hand is like literally like right up, like around her, literally trying to feel her up, which he does, and she says nothing really. So I'm like, how about you tell your dad? But okay, I guess him and him are buddies, I guess. Because at one point, I made a canon in my head. I made a story. I made a spin-off story with those two, the two dads of Phoebe Cates and Betsy Russell's characters. When we get older, we're going to stalk older or younger or college girls. Literally, that's I guarantee. That's what. I don't know. I guess that's my head canon. That's my story. I'm going with these two and then even at the ending where, Phoebe Cates' dad, I think it is Phoebe Cates' dad. When they're about to graduate, he goes over to like one of the guys. He thinks it's a woman or a girl, but even in the face you can tell that's a hard looking whatever. He goes to sit next to him or her, and like he goes to whisper in her ear, and then it's really Bubba dressed up as a girl, but he literally knocks him out, and then there was this one scene. Oh, and also they moon the older lady at the end. All the girls moon the woman at the end, which I'm like, I get that you just graduated, so I guess maybe they can't really take that away from you. But I'm like, you literally, because they're like, Miss Mabaku or whatever her name is, we want to give you something that you'll never forget, and then they all turn around and bend over and moon the heck out of that lady. which I thought was funny, and that's how they end. It freeze frames and then it ends. They have a cool, catchy ending credit song. I now know what riding bareback is, and it is what Phoebe Kate does in this movie. Or not Phoebe Cates, Betsy Russell. Betsy Russell rides a horse bareback. So I now know what that is. I know what that saying is now. This movie is a bit educational as well. Also, I was again. They don't really, and yeah, like I think it was either a guy or no, it was the girl. One of the friend of Phoebe Cates rips the shirt off of Betsy Russell while she's riding a horse, and she's just topless and just riding the horse, and the head mistress lady at the school, I guess she has like these other women that follow her around, like to show them what the school's about, I guess. But like they don't really address, like they're like, that's what I call riding bareback or whatever. And then they like, I guess she doesn't. I guess she can't really get in trouble because she didn't really mean for that to happen. Technically, the other girl ripped it off, but that girl doesn't get in trouble for even though she whatever. There's another scene in this I loved where the boyfriend of Phoebe Cates, he's trying to get condoms for them to, and he goes to a pharmacy and he thinks at first the guy knows what he's talking about because he's like, I need something for, I forget what he even said, something purposes, and then the guy, turns out I think he's actually like a dentist as well because he's like, you want to get something to do with the hard, you want to get something that lasts with the tip or whatever, something to do with the tip and to get in the hard to reach places. So when you can only think like wrong with that sentence. Also, I thought that was funny, and then he goes to sit back in the car because she sent him in there. He goes back in the car. He's like, I guess because he comes back, I guess, with the toothpaste or toothbrush, and she's like, "What's this?" I guess he misunderstood me. So then she's like, "I guess I'll do it." So she goes in there, and literally she's nonchalant. I want condoms, and so the guy, he's like, "Okay, I have these. These won't really do you really well." He's under the impression that she's older and married, I guess. Also, the head mistress is in this scene as well, where she's trying to get like a facial thing going on, I guess, on one side, because like she has like one side covered in green. So then Phoebe Cates comes in at the counter, and when she's trying to buy like the condoms, the older lady, the headmistress, comes over and she screams. She's like, ah, because she sees her face, I guess. Because I guess she's scared of how she looks, even though that's whatever. So then she runs over to the counter with him and Phoebe Cates, and then then they both look at each other, and then they both scream. And then she's like, "Oh, Miss So-and-so, in case you're wondering why I was here." And then the older lady is like, "I don't care why you were here." And, but yeah, again, I would say watch it, because some of the humor in this is funny. And I love the one scene where they get Betsy Russell to come over to Bubba and his gang, because at this point, Phoebe Cates and her boyfriend are off at the hotel. And Betsy Russell's under the impression that she's going to meet Phoebe Cates' boyfriend at the room, but it's really Bubba with his friends that have like this bet that they'll get to see her naked or whatever, or in a bra. So they're making bets, and they either stuff each other in the closet so they can hear what's going on or see, and then they have one guy under the bed, and they got another guy in the corner. So there's funny. It was cracking me up where Bubba at one point sits on the bed, and the guy that's under there is making noises like, oh. So then he has to pretend like he's coughing and try to cover that up. So I kept rewinding that because that was like the most funniest scene in that entire. I mean, I love all the other comedy, but that scene in particular, it had me bawling because like he keeps, because they keep jumping on the bed or sitting on the bed. I guess it's crushing the guy, and he's making noises. And then at one point he's like, "I'll give you champagne or wine or whatever." Then he sprays it on her, and then she's in underwear, bra, whatever, and then they're all, "All right, yeah," and then and then his girlfriend comes in there, and then her and Phoebe Cates team, or not Phoebe, her and Betsy Russell team up, and he falls out a window, and he's okay. Literally, even though I swear he fell on his back, but like, okay, he gets up nonchalantly, and you know. But yeah, I would say, and again, there's other scenes that are just comical. Another scene in particular is Betsy Russell, where the guys sneak in there to see their girls, they're dressed as girls to sneak in and see their girls, and Betsy Russell literally, I guess she recognizes them on a dime, because literally she puts Bubba with his girlfriend in her room, and then she takes Phoebe Cates' boyfriend into her room, and pretty much frame him for, oh, he was looking at me naked or whatever. And this scene goes on a bit long because I'm not really complaining because it's Betsy Russell, so, but she puts the heat up in the room, raises the heat so he's sweating, and then she's like, "Look at my calves," and then she takes her shirt off at one point, and then she wants him to give her a massage, and then he's sweating the whole time, and then she wants to give him a massage because pretty much, and then he's like, "But I'm really not a girl," and then she screams pretty much, and he's like, "Oh, come on, don't scream," and then she runs out, and everybody's, "Oh, it's the guy peeping in on her," and then that's pretty much, we get the whole, oh, Phoebe Cates is mad at her boyfriend because she thinks he's kind of cheating on her or tried to cheat on her with Betsy Russell. But I mean, again, women in this are gorgeous. The soundtrack is really good. At least 3 songs to me. And the acting is really good. I actually like the acting of everybody. I don't know if the guy that plays Bubba, it seemed like he might have been in other movies. He should have been, because he's really funny in this. Phoebe Cates is adorable. And yeah, like, anyway, I would say please look this movie up and watch it if you love 80's comedies, especially not really raunchy, but if you're a fan of Betsy Russell or Phoebe Cates, please give this a watch. Also, I recognize Betsy Russell mainly because I saw her in Tomboy, which she's also in that, and even gets way bare in that movie as well. I mean, here she does too, but you know. But yeah, overall, my thoughts on this: I love this movie a lot. I would say it's one of my this is one of my favorite movies of all time. It probably would be in the top 10, surprisingly. Why? Rewind the review if you don't get why. If anybody would like to request a video or movie review, movie commentary, reaction video, commentaries, or whatever, join my Patreon, Johnny X. I have an Instagram, I have a Snapchat. Those are all down below, or should be. And yeah, till next time, take care and peace and